Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab. And I'm in the book. We getting closer to the end, y'all. We doing a lesson now about what you know about consciousness. I did this lesson a while ago, but I'm gonna do it with a little different twist this time, hopefully. Let's go. Radisms, 25 rule to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You well I'm through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to ask the for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and too. My God, be true. We're gonna talk about this thing up here. The most sophisticated machinery known to man is called consciousness. What do you know about consciousness? Let me tell you what I know about it. All right, let's go. What is consciousness? That's the question. The long answer, I got 2 pages of information, but I'm gonna give it to you. I can summarize it, give you a synopsis of it in one word: God. Let's go. And after all this, I'm gonna take you through. It's gonna take you back to what I just told you again. God, let's rock. What is consciousness? Consciousness is the primordial state of existence, as referred to in Egyptian and even in Indian mythology. They both say pure consciousness, or what we call primeval water, symbolically, are considered to be what they say unformed matter. In other words, energy, according to the physics and scientists today. We called it the self, God. I keep trying to explain to you, right there. God is 2 things in the Trinity: invisible, spirit gives life, all knowing. That's consciousness. Get it? So let's rock. So now, pure consciousness is the stuff of which everything in physical matter, objects, is composed of. And it is also the origin of the subtlest matter of which thoughts are composed, in the same way that modern physics, pay attention, has discovered the same underlying. Now, modern physics discovered the underlying basis behind all matter. You ready? Energy. When you think in God, the Trinity of God is energy, frequency, and vibration. They're telling you. The ancients knew that. Now that modern man got all the modern technology and all this stuff now, they said the same thing. So they was right a long time ago. That's my point. All right, but watch this. So we knew, watch this, the underlying matter for all matter was energy. They call them atoms. We call it atom. Tom, Tem, Tum, all the same. But watch this. But the sages of ancient times had already discovered and knew that there is one underlying substance we call pure consciousness that represent God. We call it the witness consciousness. We got a whole bunch of names for it. But we know about it in ancient times. That's the point. And that's what's behind what? All things, matter, thoughts, energy, etc. The primeval waters is a symbol of what we call pure consciousness as a metaphor, as unmodified or unconditioned existence before time and space. The Bible, y'all call it the abyss. We get to that later, but okay, everybody got a name for it. Remember, this is storytelling from creation. But the unformed substance has not yet been what? Modified or conditioned, brought into any kind of form. The noon was all possibility, anything. But it just wasn't coordinated. It just wasn't organized. It wasn't structured. No maya. So at that time, everything was unconditioned. And when it's modified condition into the unformed substance has yet to be modified, aka conditioned into any particular form of yet or another, but through the process, pay attention, of what? Thought, consciousness is able now to become whatever it desires. That's the power of God in consciousness and in material and anything else. We have the same power. Think it, feel it, think it, and manifest it. Watch this. So whatever he desired was, that is to take on any form by the power of vibration. Look at that word again. Energy, frequency, and vibration. What does vibration do? It causes ripples in one's consciousness. And these ripples are what constitute movement, shape, color, dimensions, sound, light, etc. When you go to sleep, this is the perfect example. You got to get this one. When you go to sleep, at the beginning, there is no dream, only what? Unconditioned, unformed consciousness. You know you're going to sleep, you're tired, you're ready to get out, ready to go to bed. So these things are starting to slowly happen. But after some time, the subtle matter of your consciousness differentiates itself, what? Into a varied form of circumstances, aka dream state. Now you're starting to have your own dream going on in your own mind. Okay, that's God on the micro scale. We are microcosm of God. God does on the macro. Watch this. But when you form circumstances, feelings, etc., from what? Inside your own dream. Feel me? You understand that concept? In the same manner, this is the same manner in which what? The universe has arisen out of what? God's consciousness, aka his dream. See how it works? See how it works? So when they say we're made in God's image, not in his physical image, because he has none. Formless, remember? But the image to procreate, create from what? Our heart, mind, and manifest with our words. Heka, words of power, to manifest things in the physical realm. Now, in this primordial state, there is only what? One, the self. Pure consciousness. Pay attention. This is where you get good. This is the meat and potatoes of the concept right here. One pure consciousness. Okay. There is not even a thought about anything other than what? Itself. Upon the emergence of what? The first thought. Remember, Ptah uttered himself into existence after what? Feeling it in his heart, conceiving it in his mind, and uttering himself into existence. That's what they're telling you. There is something besides the self. Now, what is it? In an objective form, now there is what? Experience of what we call duality. I call it Maya. Okay? And now there's a triad. What is that duality? The one became three. Okay? The self can now be able to what? Perceive something alongside itself. It is only through the illusion of the self that is able to see anything as if it was what? Other than itself. He playing peekaboo with himself. He got to forget who he is so he can experience what? A new adventure. If he already know everything, he already got it. Ain't no fun. It ain't go. So he had to start creating. That's what he's saying right here. That's my concept. But watch this. It is like stepping in front of the mirror. Prior to stepping in front of the mirror, there is what? Just you. And after you step in front of the mirror, both you and your reflection as if it's two of y'all. See where we're going with this? In perfect example, watch this. You and your reflection are in reality what? The same what? As though you appear to be what? Two entities. The reflection seems to make it's two of y'all. But the same process operates in your dream. Mind. This thing right here is a hell of a thing. If you learn how to use it and master it, you have so much fun. Okay? It's the problem that most ignorant people have. They cause their own problem because they don't know who they are and how to use this thing they got. The most sophisticated machinery known to man. But if you're not instructed on how to use it, you're going to use it haphazardly, willy-nilly, and you can cause yourself some problems. We call them fetters. But just like in your dream, you have total control of everything. Okay? At first, there was what? It's only you. And from your consciousness emerges the dream world. You're asleep. You ain't conscious. Now you're unconscious. The subconscious is taking care of the body. He's working. He'll never stop. But your unconscious now takes you to what? The next conscious state, with the dream state. When you ain't woke, you're dreaming. So the dreams, objects, and personalities, situations, etc., you cause all of them. Just like God caused everything in our world. In order for this to be possible, there must be what we call a triad. A seer, a scene, and a sight. Or, more frequently known as this, subject, object, and interaction. Subject, object, interaction. I'm using that the spine of Osiris and Isis and that going up. That's the medical sign for the Trinity. Okay. But the material out of which your dreams and your waking consciousness arises is what? Still the same place. Sages have discovered that pure consciousness is the underlying basis of all human mind in all of its states. But when thoughts arise in one's mind, consciousness takes and identifies with the various forms and understanding how to perceive them. That's the power of working your mind to understand what's going on. Your comprehension level, your IQ, all those things happens up here. And your ability to what? Learn, adjust, and be. At the same time, watch this. God is said to have created him or herself. Right there. He's both in one by himself. But once he created him and her. Hence, three. Get the concept? Hopefully. In himself, in the form of which that is created, in the same way as a person's consciousness takes on the forms in their dream. When consciousness becomes something, anything, from the grossest, from the subtlest, a tree, a rock, a planet, a human being, air, radiation, etc., then it is said to have created what they call a physical object. Okay? In this manner, creation is created. The self seemingly no longer simply just exists to complete peace and stillness. No. When the self elevens, excuse me, 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry. Again, when the self, which is God, the spirit, the self enlavens a physical body, that's us in human form, when he enlavens a physical object such as an animal, a plant, a human body, that's us, with what? The soul, the spirit, aka a higher conscious in the physical form, then it is said to what? Be living. Spirit, the spirit and essence of God is life. The consciousness is what he give us here to grow and to know and to master so that we can know who he is. And when the self becomes what? Involved in what? With the thoughts, and it forgets itself. He's trying to play the little game where I don't know everything. I don't know nothing. He's playing stupid. Okay, so he erased our memory, so to speak, and we come here to what? He give us this thing called the mind to what? Find and to know ourselves. That's the game that he played. We call it life. All right, but thinking, right thinking, that is what is the subject. To be or not to be. You are what you think you are. And what's this? Then this process that we just talked about is called self-identification. The ego self will identify. Why? Because from the birth, it became its own entity inside the physical body on its own. For the first 7 years, it's just taking in, just taking in, and formulating and creating. And now it's starting to come out. But the self, which was and still is pure consciousness, now has become involved where? In the thoughts through a process of seemingly becoming ignorant of itself, okay? To become in human form, okay? Of his real nature, his true self. Again, he played hide and seek, peekaboo with himself, okay? So we are born not knowing who we are. So the life that we live is the goal is to what? Find out who we are. Nice little game for you, right? We call it the matrix, whatever you want to call it, simulation. But it's real simple to understand. And once you get that, now you can what? Live your life on your terms. You can't change a whole bunch of stuff, but you can still live your life. 1 second, let me fix this light. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about it. It's a little dark up in here on me. But at that point in time, he's playing hide and seek with himself for the experience. We're spiritual, we're divine spiritual beings having a human experience. To what? To realize our divinity in the human form, to know thyself. Any way you want to make it. Let me wrap it up for you. But this is what they call the beginning process, which leads one to the emergence of what? Your individual soul or focus of your consciousness of your lower self, your ego self. That's what's in control until you what? Raise it to the next level, a higher self. So your soul may be thought of as what they say, a ray of consciousness, while the universal consciousness is like the sun. Get the concept, the analogy there? But overcome the spirit when it gives in human form. What happened? It's overcome by the sensual experience. The 5 senses of the physical body is what the brain got to go with while it's in the head on the physical body. The smelling, the seeing, the hearing, the touching, and tasting. Those are the 5 things that generate the experience for the spirit and soul that's in the body. Okay? It was this. The self now, as an individual, Ray is unaware of its true nature. Ignorance. We're born ignorant, not knowing ourselves. So our ancients, knowing this, left a decree, know thyself. That's why I took it. I'm still running with it. Why? That's what this means. You need to know who you are consciously. And now the spirit, through ignorance, it become what? Caught up in what? Is blinded by the physical desires of the body. In the biblical creation story, when God created what? Adam and Eve, male and female, he made thee. It was a way of saying what? That now there was differentiation in consciousness. The brain have 2 hemispheres for a reason. Maya teaches you how to think with both sides of the brain, not just one side. A lot of us think lopsided, and we wonder why we're going this side, why we're going that side. Why? Because there's no balance. If you want to ride a bike, you got to straight down the middle. Adam and Eve were tempted. Here we go. Watch this. This is a philosophical concept that the Christian people take literal. Jesus Christ. Listen again. Adam and Eve were tempted by a serpent to what? To eat from the fruit which had been forbidden to them. We know as human nature, when you tell somebody, don't do that, you already know. You already know. It's just a matter of what time? It's a matter of time. They're going to do what you say not to. We've just built that way. That's human nature. Again, humans are prone to error. We're going to make mistakes. Why? We ain't that smart. Simple. Okay? Prior to the eating from the tree, and I use this as a teaching lesson. Watch this. From the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So prior to eating that, they didn't have a concept. And when they say ignorance is bliss, because they was under God's auspiciousness and he gave them everything they needed, they didn't have to do nothing. They didn't have to do nothing but just be. The serpent, when now was going to enlighten them, they said tempted, he's going to enlighten them to be what? Like God. So if the God of Eden didn't want y'all to be like him, the serpent didn't lie to you. He just what? Enlightened you. Oh, he tempted them. No. Serpent didn't lie. He told the truth. And once they ate the forbidden fruit, what happened? They began, whoa, we naked. Oh, yeah, look out. See? They became enlightened. They didn't handle it well. Okay? And Adam and Eve did not have any, when they was under God's auspicious, Adam and Eve did not have any special feelings. What's this? Or knowledge of differentiation between themselves or with nature. They was one with nature. They walked around butt naked. They was just all, good to go. Once they got knowledge, they put fig leaves on them with the hiding private parts. How do you know it's private parts? Somebody told them that. See, information, knowledge, all of it ain't good. But everything was the same, equal. Again, non-dual at that state. However, the physical desires or the desire that led them to eat from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and with this knowledge, immediately caused them to what? See differences. Okay? When God come through, they hiding. God like, what the? Oh, he already knew. Yeah, God. I never forget, I told my son, don't touch the fire. Fire burns you. You got me? Yeah, you hear me? You don't touch the fire? No, I ain't gonna touch the fire. You know fire burn? Yeah, I know fire burn. Ah! He touched the fire. So my lesson proven. I just stayed. I ain't even entertained it. Why? I told you what would happen if you done that. And you took it upon yourself to find out for yourself. Now you know. You feel me? Experience has always been the best teacher. Sometimes you might want to pay attention. All right. But Adam and Eve found out for themselves. And between themselves, there was a difference. Now, within nature and between themselves and even what? God. They hear from God. That's how he knew. I come through before everybody, lottie-dottie, everything good. All of a sudden, peeking and creeping and hiding. Oh, yeah. Moving on. It a forbidden fruit. This is why I forbid you to do that. I had intentions. All right, here we go. But it must be understood in human nature in life. However, that when we use the word becomes, it does not signify an irreversible transformation like milk to yogurt. No, it's more like liquid water to ice. And this is what the world is, as this is also what human life is. A temporary, lasting, billions of years of what human recyclation, incarnation, appearance once the absolute has assumed. Once you become conscious of who you are, that stops the cycle of reincarnation. As long as you're ignorant, and when you die, you're going to come back. Okay, why? Because your desires to do more stuff, you're going to desire to come back until you what? Get knowledge of self. I'm going to stop right there because I see the clock. I got next one coming by to tell you about the creation story. So we're going to start with that when I get right back. Right there, because I'm enjoying this. Hope you're getting a lesson. Hope you're getting something from it. But we talk about consciousness. In the long term, I'm breaking it down. Short term, God. Hope you got the message. But in closing, may you all dare to be 100. Me, 100, minus a day. So I know that my right thinkers who now understand what consciousness is passed away. We all are conscious. God.